My ex-boss said I was nothing without this job, so I became his new landlord. When I was 24, I worked at a small logistics company run by a guy named Tom. He wore designer suits, talked like a self-made genius, and treated everyone below him like the dirt he rose up from. Thing is, I really believed in the job. I put in late nights, learned systems nobody else understood, even built the supply tracking spreadsheets that kept us from falling apart. But respect? That was never part of the deal. Tom used to say I was ambitious for my league. Whenever he caught me reading about business law between shifts, he'd smirk and say, "Study all you want, kid. You'll still be working for me." The worst moment came during the pandemic. Hours were cut, projects dropped, morale tanked. I asked about remote options. He laughed. "Son," he said, "you're lucky to have a paycheck. Without this place, you're nothing." That line clicked like a switch. I went home that night angry enough to plan. First step, side hustle. I started freelancing logistics consulting after hours. Small gigs, local warehouses trying to go digital. Next step, saved, aggressively, moved back with my brother. Every insult from Tom turned into another hour of self-teaching, accounting, procurement, back-end software. 2 years later, I took a gamble and opened my own consulting firm. No employees, just me, a laptop, and the network I'd built quietly behind the scenes. By year 3, I had enough contracts to hire staff. And guess whose company started circling? Tom's. They'd lost 2 major clients. Systems outdated, morale gone. Their new operations manager reached out for a consultation, under a different name, now Mercer Solutions. I accepted the job proposal without revealing the connection. When I walked into the building again in a tailored suit, laptop bag over my shoulder, Tom nearly choked on his coffee. "Jake," he said, jaws tightening, "what are you doing here?" "I'm the consultant," I said evenly. "You hired me." He blinked 3 times, pale. I spent the day calmly auditing the very spreadsheets I'd built years before, the same ones he'd taken credit for. In the meeting, I kept it strictly professional. "The inefficiencies here stem from leadership bottlenecks," I said. Tom scribbled notes like his life depended on it. At the end, he stuck out his hand. "Good work," he muttered. It wasn't revenge yet. That part came 4 months later. My firm took off fast, especially when I invested profits into commercial real estate with 2 partners. After a year of management transfers, we bought a small business plaza on the edge of the city. 4 units, 1 office, still under lease. Guess which company rented it? You already know. Tom Industries, his original office. The lease was expiring. He missed renewal by 2 days, which made me his new landlord. I didn't evict him. I simply raised rent fair market rate. Nothing cruel. He sent angry emails. I replied politely, "Business is business." A month later, he packed up, posting a bitter rant online about millennial greed. Meanwhile, my portfolio doubled, my staff tripled, and every time someone repeats that old line, "You're lucky to have a job," I remember his face. Last week, while updating tenant records, I noticed something that stopped me for a second. Under previous occupant, on that building's file, there's a note I left for myself. "Never forget who once said you were nothing." I stared at it, then laughed quietly. Because he was right, in a way. I was nothing back then, but it's amazing what nothing can turn into when you use every insult as fuel. Now I sign his old rent checks. And every signature reminds me, the best revenge doesn't shout, it just collects.